A man is great by deeds, not by birth. There is some self-interest behind every friendship. There is no friendship without self-interests. This is a bitter truth. Avoid him who talks sweetly before you, but tries to ruin you behind your back, for he is like a pitcher of poison with milk on top. If one has a good disposition, what other virtue is needed? If a man has fame, what is the value of other ornamentation? What is too heavy for the strong? And what place is too distant for those who put forth effort? Test a servant while in the discharge of his duty, a relative in difficulty, a friend in adversity, and a wife in misfortune. We should not fret for what is past, nor should we be anxious about the future. Men of discernment deal only with the present moment. Education is the best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. Education beats the beauty and the youth. There is no austerity equal to a balanced mind, and there is no happiness equal to contentment. There is no disease like covetousness, and no virtue like mercy. Time perfects all living beings, as well as kills them. It alone is awake. When all others are asleep, time is insurmountable. Do not put your trust in a bad companion, nor even trust an ordinary friend, for if he should get angry with you, he may bring all your secrets to light. Even if a snake is not poisonous, it should pretend to be venomous. God is not present in idols. Your feelings are your God. The soul is your temple. The serpent, the king, the tiger, the stinging wasp, the small child, the dog, owned by other people, and the fool, these seven ought not to be awakened from sleep. A person should not be too honest. Straight trees are cut first, and honest people are screwed first. Do not reveal what you have thought upon doing, but, by wise counsel, keep it secret, being determined to carry it into execution. The one excellent thing that can be learned from a lion is that whatever a man intends doing should be done by him with a wholehearted and strenuous effort. The fragrance of flowers spreads only in the direction of the wind, but the goodness of a person spreads in all direction. The earth is supported by the power of truth. It is the power of truth that makes the sun shine and the winds blow. Indeed, all things rest upon truth. As a single withered tree, if set aflame, causes a whole forest to burn, so does a rascal son destroy a whole family. Although an ass is tired, he continues to carry his burden. He is unmindful of cold and heat, and he is always contented. These three things should be learned from the ass. The wise man should restrain his senses like the crane, and accomplish his purpose with due knowledge of his place, time, and ability. Rain, which falls upon the sea, is useless. So is food for one who is satiated. In vain is a gift for one who is wealthy, and a burning lamp during the daytime is useless. He who gives up shyness in monetary dealings, in acquiring knowledge, in eating, and in business, becomes happy. Knowledge is lost without putting it into practice. A man is lost due to ignorance, an army is lost without a commander, and a woman is lost without a husband. Treat your kid like a darling for the first 5 years. For the next 5 years, scold them. By the time they turn 16, treat them like a friend. Your grown-up children are your best friends. Perfection can be achieved only through devotion to the Supreme Lord, for devotion is the basis of all success. Those born blind cannot see. Similarly, blind are those in the grip of lust. Proud men have no perception of evil, and those bent on acquiring riches see no sin in their actions. Save your wealth against future calamity. A single son, endowed with good qualities, is far better than 100 devoid of them. For the moon, though one, dispels the darkness, which the stars, though numerous, cannot. Do not put your trust in rivers, men who carry weapons, beasts with claws or horns, women, and members of a royal family. The learned are envied by the foolish, rich men by the poor, chaste women by adulteresses, and beautiful ladies by ugly ones. In this world, whose family is there without blemish, who is free from sickness and grief, who is forever happy. As soon as the fear approaches near, attack and destroy it. Of a rascal and a serpent, the serpent is the better of the two, for he strikes only at the time he is destined to kill, while the former, at every step. The biggest guru mantra is, never share your secrets with anybody, it will destroy you. One destitute of wealth is not destitute, he is indeed rich, if he is learned, but the man devoid of learning is destitute in every way. The house of a childless person is a void. All directions are void. To one who has no relatives, the heart of a fool is also void. But, to a poverty-stricken man, all is void. All the creatures are pleased by loving words, and therefore, we should address words that are pleasing to all, for there is no lack of sweet words. He who befriends a man whose conduct is vicious, whose vision impure, and who is notoriously crooked, is rapidly ruined. A wicked wife, a false friend, a saucy servant, and, living in a house with a serpent in it, are nothing but death. The cuckoos remain silent for a long time, for several seasons, until they are able to sing sweetly in the spring, so as to give joy to all. The woman who fasts and observes religious vows without the permission of her husband shortens his life and goes to hell. A man who encounters the following three is unfortunate: the death of his wife in his old age, the entrusting of money into the hands of relatives, and depending upon others for food. Wealth, a friend, a wife, and a kingdom may be regained, but this body, when lost, may never be acquired again. As a calf follows its mother among 1,000 cows, so the good or bad deeds of a man follow him. Excessive attachment to sense pleasures leads to bondage, and detachment from sense pleasures leads to liberation. Therefore, it is the mind alone that is responsible for bondage or liberation. He who is engrossed in family life will never acquire knowledge. There can be no mercy in the eater of flesh. The greedy man will not be truthful, and purity will not be found in a woman, a hunter. He is a pandit, man of knowledge, who speaks what is suitable to the occasion, who renders loving service according to his ability, and who knows the limits of his anger. We should secure and keep the following: the blessings of meritorious deeds, wealth, grain, the words of the spiritual master, and rare medicines. Otherwise life becomes impossible. How can people be made happy in a petty kingdom? What peace can we expect from a rascal friend? What happiness can we have at home in the company of a bad wife? How can renown be gained by instructing an unworthy disciple? Through the night, a great many kinds of birds, perch on a tree. But, in the morning, they fly in all the 10 directions. Why should we lament for that? We should always deal cautiously with fire, water, women, foolish people, serpents, and members of a royal family, for they may, when the occasion presents itself, at once bring about our death. A wise man should not reveal his loss of wealth, the vexation of his mind, the misconduct of his own wife, base words spoken by others, and disgrace that has befallen him. He who is prepared for the future, and he who deals cleverly with any situation that may arise, are both happy. But the fatalistic man, who wholly depends on luck, is ruined. One should save his money against hard times, save his wife at the sacrifice of his riches, but invariably one should save his soul even at the sacrifice of his wife and riches. As a whole forest becomes fragrant by the existence of a single tree with sweet-smelling blossoms in it, so a family becomes famous by the birth of a virtuous son. He who loses his money is forsaken by his friends, his wife, his servants, and his relations. Yet, when he regains his riches, those who have forsaken him come back to him. Hence wealth is certainly the best of relations. A good wife is one who serves her husband in the morning, like a mother does, loves him in the day, like a sister does, and pleases him, like a prostitute, in the night. The prostitute has to forsake a man who has no money, the subject, a king that cannot defend him, the birds, a tree that bears no fruit, and the guests, a house after they have finished their meals. It is better to be without a kingdom than to rule over a petty one, better to be without a friend than to befriend a rascal, better to be without a disciple than to have a stupid one, and better to be without a wife than to have a bad one. He who possesses intelligence is strong. How can the man that is unintelligent be powerful? The elephant of the forest, having lost his senses by intoxication, was tricked into a lake by a small rabbit. Do not be very upright in your dealings, for you would see, by going to the forest, that straight trees are cut down, while crooked ones are left standing. Thanks for watching. If you like our video, subscribe us, and don't forget to hit the bell icon for next video notification. Once again, thanks for watching.